Hello. So it's the 1st of August and it's the afternoon after I recorded my Flosstube last night. And I just watched it back and I'm massively self-aware. I don't know whether you a lot of notice or not, but for me, I'm speaking really slowly in it. I feel I'm coming across as very fatigued and I don't know, it's not quite right. So it's not that I wanted to apologise, it's just that, just acknowledge it basically. So my Fibro and my CFS isn't great at the minute, and that's why it sort of might come across, or I might come across a bit differently to usual. I'm also a rambly, but you're used to that. In tangents, you're used to that as well. The other thing I wanted to just mention is that at the end, when I go into life stuff, I do sort of address why I've not been massively present recently, and I wouldn't ever want to upset anyone or cause anyone like sort of distress with what I said. So I just wanted to sort of include, I don't know, I guess trigger warning. I don't go into detail. I just know that, it's potentially upsetting just even hearing a brief mention of certain things. So I do talk about death and loss, anniversary of that, dementia I mention, and also we don't think Leo's very well either. So just sort of illness in pets. So yeah, that's that really. I mean, I hope you enjoy what you watch. I didn't. I was cringing the whole way through it, to the point where I was considering re-recording it. I don't think I've got the energy for that. So, warts and all, here we are. Here we go. So, grab yourself a cuppa, sit back, relax. It's a long one, but I have been gone a while. So, here we go. Hi and welcome. It's been a while. Welcome back if you've watched my channel before, and welcome if you're a new subscriber. I know I've picked up a few in my absence. My name is Georgie. I'm also known as Crafty Road Gamer, and yeah, welcome. It's been a while. It's been a couple of months, and there's reasons for that, which we'll go into at the end if you're not interested in the stitching. There isn't much of the stitching for reasons. But yeah, I have my two of my emotional support animals here. So apologies, but Leo is happy, so you can possibly hear him purring as part of the soundtrack. And I've also got Rocky, who's feeling a little bit sorry for himself. But yeah, we'll talk about animals and stuff at the end, because I know not everyone's here for that. Although that's what I stay for the animals. I don't really stay for the Flosstubes. No, that's a lie. The animals are a bonus on anyone's Flosstube I watch. So yeah. Right. So yeah, 2 months, probably more than 2 months since the last video. I've had a lot of people reach out, which was really kind. If you have sort of like just message me to check in and make sure everything's okay, I really do appreciate that. Just start off with that. Thank you. Thank you very much. Massively appreciated. Also, I've got a downstairs camera and downstairs audio now. So this is the first time I've recorded using the new thing. So if you're wobbling, it's because the camera is sort of perched on top of the laptop screen. And God, I can tell I'm out of practice with this. Anyway, so we'll have a talk about stitching things, I guess, first, what I've been up to stitching wise. Then we'll have a look at works in progress, whip, and if I've had any starts or finishes, and then what my future plans are, and then we'll go into a haul. Oh, I bought so much stuff. I can't tell you. Well, I won't tell you. Well, I will tell you. I can't show you how much stuff I what. And then we'll do stuff at the end, which is like life things and all that jazz, and you can see what's going on with the new puppy, as well as find out why I've had a bit of an extended absence. So if you see anything pop up anywhere, that's the courtesy of my lovely husband JC. He does all my video editings. Oh, we're losing a corgi. Okay. Yeah, I've got stitching stuff there. It's just a mess. Just cover it up with the duvet. Just pretend that's not there. Yeah, so JC does all my video editing, and anything you see pop up on the screen is him and his sense of humour. So, right, we're going to get into it, but it might be a bit awkward because I've got notes on my screen, and I've also got notes here. Notes here are in no particular order. So, yeah, apologies if this is somewhat organised chaos. So, stitchy stuff, stitchy things, what's happened? Not much. This isn't much of a Flosstube, if I'm honest with you. It's going to be more of a, I don't know. The Bon Jovi song, It Ain't a Love Song, just like popped up into my head like, this ain't a Flosstube, calling it a Flosstube. It ain't. Not much stitching's gone off. Life has totally got in the way of stitching. It's not got in the way of buying stitching stuff. Not in the slightest, but hey ho, that's for later. So, what have I been doing apart from very little stitching? What stitch things have been going on and happening? I managed to watch some Flosstube. I guess talk about Flosstubers. So I've like watched all of my usual suspects, and I'm just sort of trying to work out, because there's like some life stuff that sort of like mixes in with what some of the what some of the Flosstubers have been talking about. That's also not life stuff. So I don't know. What can we go with? Who have we got written down? So lots of people giving me shout outs as well. And even though I'm caught up with Flosstube, I've not actually written any comments on anyone's video. So apologies. I'm not fully back in circulation yet. I'm not fully me. I am me. You know what I mean? I'm not fully there yet. But I've managed to keep up just with everyone who I regularly watch. So everyone's got fantastic projects going on, and well done if you've like done any finishes recently. The only person on my sort of my regular rotation who I've been actively avoiding is Crafty Rin, because they've finished the Gamer Cell, but they had a few videos leading up to that which I hadn't also watched, was like the development of the Gamer Stitch along the Gamer Cell that I've been doing, which I've like got nowhere with recently. So I left Crafty Rin while last, but yeah, massive congratulations Crafty Rin on getting that finished, because that is a beast. I've got no further on it. I'm up to, I finished A, I think, pretty much all the back stitching on A, and yeah, it's the colour changes and the switching, just like, yeah, not great. So I've watched all of your videos, but I've sort of missed out any bit that said gamer, just so I didn't have any spoilers there, like when you were leading into it. But yeah, congratulations to Rin on finishing that Gamer Stitch along, because yeah, and on time as well. What's all that about? So I'm going to try and avoid clicking my pen a lot, but I click my pen. That's my thing. I've normally got a less clicky one. Who else can I talk about? What else can I talk about? People have been doing 31 days of cross stitch. I tried to do it. I think I possibly got a few people into it, but I've not kept up with it for reasons. And I'm not going to pick it back up. I think Mel Stitching Stuff's going to do a September one, and I'll hopefully be better for keeping up with that one. So yeah, if you've mentioned me as part of that and I haven't said thank you, I'm going to try and backtrack on everything and at least like or thank people, because I don't want people to think I've been ignorant. But I've not been ignoring everyone. I've just accidentally ended up backing away, and then it's been hard to just get back into the world. Flosstube mentions, I don't know if anyone's mentioned me, but if you have mentioned me on Flosstube, thank you very much. I know Emma X Stitching mentioned me in her most recent video. Thank you very much. I'm subscribed to Emma's channel, and I did it when Darcy basically went to bully Emma into friendly bullying. Proactively encouraged Emma to do her first Flosstube, and when she ended up with like loads of subscribers prior to actually making her first video, I was one of those. And I like watching Emma's videos because I see things that I wouldn't stitch, and I really do like that. And that's no sort of, that's not even like funny about what I do. Like, my tastes are completely different to a lot of Flosstube, to be fair, to a lot of Flosstubers. So yeah, I love seeing the stuff that I wouldn't stitch because it gives me ideas, makes me buy things, because I wouldn't necessarily think to pick them up. But then sometimes when you're looking at something, you're thinking, actually, that doesn't look too bad, or like, oh, I wouldn't have thought that looked like that, even though like the pattern, well, the previews are exactly the same. As what it suggests, it looks different when it's stitched up sometimes. So yeah, if you don't already watch Emma X Stitching, then I'll put a link in the comments. I'll put a link in the description of this video, and yeah, go check her out, because Emma is the Sal Queen along with Belushi Stitchers Joe. Loads of Sal, loads of beautiful projects, and Dino December. So I need to stop twiddling my pen. I realise this. I'm just going to put this down here. The Sal Queens are doing Dinosaur December Stitch Along. So Owl Forest Embroidery has a dinosaur pattern or kit that Joe and Emma ordered, and then they're getting everyone on the bandwagon for Dino December, which is, you don't just have to stitch the Owl Forest Embroidery one, you can stitch anything dinosaur in December. I mean, you can stitch what you want at any point, but yeah, I'm down for Dino December. I don't have my Dino duvet here. I've replaced it with a cheapo shark one because the puppy the puppy wrecked my Dino duvet. So I went out and bought a Dino duvet backup, and also for the interim shark duvet, because puppy shark is destroying, and it was cheap enough that I won't be upset if she destroys it. I wasn't upset that she's like destroyed the dinosaur duvet cover, but it's now on the floor down there with all her all of the toys that she's collected in it, whether they're hers or Rocky's or, well, not really toys at all. So yeah, Dino December. Come join us. I have lots of dinosaur patterns. Lots. I might have acquired more. Can't remember. This is what it's been like. Can't remember, but I have plenty to be going at to look through. So I am definitely going to be taking part in Dino December Stitch Along, hosted by Emma X Stitching and Joe, Belushi Stitchers. So I'll put a link to both of their channels below, and they're also on Instagram under the same names, I think. For other watching Flosstube, so when we first, so I can't remember if I mentioned or not that, well, I know I mentioned we were getting a new puppy. So we've called the puppy Nova, and she's currently asleep in the bedroom, which is right above the living room. So that's why I'm sort of talking a bit in a lower tone, I guess. Well, I feel like I am anyway. I feel like I'm speaking quite quietly. But I've got a microphone right that I need. Oh, just stop picking the pen up. I need to stop picking the pen up. But yeah, that's why I feel like I'm speaking a bit lower. So, sorry. Well, I can't. I'm playing with the pen, and that's really distracting. So I need to put my hands on you. Is that okay? So lost my train of thought. Anyway, yes, so new puppy is called Nova, and she's beautiful. She's amazing. She's a really good dog. But stitching and Flosstube watching time at first was quite limited. So yeah, didn't get much done in terms of watching or stitching. However, we've sort of got a routine down with it now, and stitching's still a bit awkward. However, Flosstube watching, that's not too bad now. And I've actually been able to watch 2 Flosstubers who, so like my rationale for watching Flosstubers is I'm working my way through everyone. That's not a good look. My hair's very bouffant today. This is what happens when it's warm. Like my hair goes big, but then I let it like dry without hair drying it. I just let it dry naturally, and then I can't bother to straighten it. The straighteners are right down there. So yeah, this is why this weird kind of bouffant thing is going on with like waves and stuff, because that's how my hair dries. Anyway, it's going to be one of those tangenty ones, isn't it? So yes, my rationale for watching Flosstubers is anyone who sort of welcomed me to the community or has commented on my videos, who I wasn't watching anyway. You're queued up. I've literally got a list. I can see the list on my screen. I was trying to work out the next people on the list, the next Flosstubers on the list, who I wanted to watch, because, you know, they'd watch me and said, you know, like lovely comments and nice things about my videos. So first of all, I started, well, no, that's a slight fib. So I caught up with Darcy's Flosstubes, and I can't remember which, it's been a long but very quick going 2 months. I can't remember much. However, Darcy mentioned a Flosstuber called 14th Moon of Uranus, and they're on my list, and I was going to watch them next, and I was like, why have you done this? Because then now it's going to look like I'm watching and talking about them because you've said it. And so yeah, so I stubbornly watched the next person in my list to then go back to 14th Moon of Uranus and watch their videos. So firstly, I watched Coco Creates. So Coco Creates is Zoe, and Zoe's channel is named after one of her cats, Coco. And the cats regularly make an appearance, much like my cat, in some way, shape or form. So, like I said, I come for the Flosstube, but the animals are bonus. I you know, if you've got the animals in the Flosstubes, then that's it. I'm definitely watching you. So, Zoe has a very mixed bag of projects, which I love. Everything from like really tiny bookmarks to really, sorry, I took my hands off you, didn't I? To big heights. Also, Zoe likes maps. I like maps, Zoe. I like them too. One of the reasons I liked watching Zoe's videos was, firstly, she tells us that she loves us lots. Like, I love you too. I love being told I'm loved. That's amazing. That's really cool. I don't know. I just find her really enjoyable to watch and massively just endearing. So I think she's on a bit of a hiatus at the moment. I caught up with Zoe as she went off Flosstube because she was having an operation. So Zoe then recorded a video basically going, I'm back home, I'm okay, and then hasn't recorded anything since. So Zoe, I hope if you watch this finds you well. I hope the operation has the intended result that you wanted, and that you're okay. And yeah, I look forward to watching you back on Flosstube very soon, because I really enjoyed all of your videos. I watched you from the beginning. Oh, got Dexter. And yeah, Dexter made an appearance for Zoe. So the other, I might have to stop this in for a second, because this is going to end up, this normally doesn't end up well, because Leo is my old boy and he's really grumpy, and Dexter is, I would say young, but he's like sort of 5 or 6, and it normally starts out like this, but then it gets more and more aggressive with the licking. So then the like sort of the nicey turns to like sort of aggressive, I will lick you harder. And then yeah, it just ends up in chaos and something gets ruined or hurt or knocked over. And it's normally something of mine, not theirs, because their stuff's all strewn around the living room elsewhere. Anyway. Apologies. I can see on the recording thing, the mic audio is just like flicking up because you can hear the cats licking each other coming through. Excuse me. Leo, can we not? Thank you. Thank you. Goodbye. So, anyway, I watched all of Coco Creates, all of Zoe's videos. And then I went back to 14th Moon of Uranus YouTube channel. So my notes are on paper for this, and I'm going to end up picking the pen up to tick things off, and you're going to see this orange pen floating about. I don't even know what pen it is. Oh, it's just like a random education freebie. It's quite a nice orange though. Stop. So, Miranda. So, I'm sewing a lot today. I'm umming and sewing. I do apologise. Like I say, I am massively out of practice in doing this, as you know, if you're a regular watcher, because I haven't been around in a while. So Miranda has commented, I think, on every single one of my videos, and we sort of like end up like talking to each other in the comments a bit on every time I post something. And then I think Miranda's on Flosstube number 5 now. Yeah, number 5. So Miranda does lots of smaller pieces because Miranda also has fibromyalgia and ME or CFS like I do. So I can appreciate how much effort and strength goes into doing your videos and recording your videos, because I know what I'm like and I know everyone's different. And Miranda she doesn't make a secret of it. She's bedridden, and I know, how I feel just from being like this and with my symptoms. I just think with yours being amplified to that extent, that it must take so much effort for you to like do that, and you can tell how much enjoyment you get out of it, because I love watching your videos. I know you've only got a few of them, but I have loved watching and listening to you and seeing your projects. So Miranda's small projects are because of mainly because of a condition, but they're great. They're so varied. The animals aren't helping my concentration here. So Miranda likes lots of the same stuff that I do, like so cats, dragons, and then space and water and Lord of the Rings and fantasy, and yeah. So I'm feeling like I'm here for you. I am here for all of your videos. Miranda designed her own sampler as well. That's amazing. Like, and the artwork, you are so talented. Like, your drawings are amazing. If you haven't watched Miranda's videos, go check them out and look at number 4, I think it is, when she flicks through her. You're just so talented. It's just, I'm just hats off. I can't do anything like that. I'm rubbish at drawing. I dropped it in like year 9 at school. My art teacher basically told me not to do it at GCSE. I was that terrible at drawing. Don't even think about picking it as an option. That's all right. I wasn't intending to. I know my limitations with things. But yeah, what else can I say? I feel like I would go on like a massive Miranda, I would say like rant, because it's not like in a negative way, but just like I could like just gush over your projects and how much similar stuff we like. And yeah, so anyway, go and watch Miranda's videos, 14th moon of Uranus, and I'm just going to see if I've missed anything out that I said I wanted to mention about Miranda. Oh, so Miranda mentioned me. I'm not going to do a Darcy and make it about me, but I believe I am responsible for Miranda's new hobby of PDF pattern collecting. I'm not going to apologise for this, because if I apologise for it, that makes it seem like all of the patterns that I've bought are a bad thing. But no, I hope you're enjoying your new hobby of pattern collecting. And also, I know you like cats, so I hope you're enjoying the fact that we have a permy cat here. I think Leo might be here for the duration, even though Dexter and Rocky have, well, Rocky's a cat, but the other animals have flaked out on us, made a quick appearance and then gone away. So yeah, that's who I've been watching, and you know, in my regular rotation I've added a couple of new people, which is great. I don't know who's next. I need to have a look. I've got a few names on the list. I need to work out who to tackle, not physically, because that's, you shouldn't do that, but who to have a go at next with their Flosstube subscription, the channels. So yeah, I'm rambling. I know I'm rambling. I'm really sorry. I can see we're on like 24 minutes. And do you know what? It's 24 minutes without a break, which is good, because I've normally cut this several times by now. And I don't think I'm going to. But it's also 25 minutes of like, just like words blurting out. Anyway, so stitching. What have I done? What haven't I done is possibly more apt. So life stuff plus puppy, as I've mentioned, is not very good for stitching. You can imagine. So my work in progress, my whip, is, spoiler, not done. It's a dog's life. It's some level of irony that the dogs in my life are now causing me to not be able to make progress on It's a Dog's Life, on the stitching dogs. So I'm going to ask JC to put a picture in of what it should look like. And then also I'm going to have to rummage here to find out where I was the last time. But we'll get a picture in there too. So we have made progress. I've got a new camera and this is going to be terrible. Right, so we have 7 out of 9 dogs. They don't have eyes. It's still bothering me. It's still bothering me a lot. I'm trying not to think about it. I just keep rolling it up and like hiding them so that I can't see the fact that they've not got eyes, because it's not fair that the poor dogs haven't been able to see. I mean, they've got noses they can smell, I guess. That's okay. Yeah, we need to get this done. However, so I think, if I'm correct, these 4 squares together here, so 1, 2, 3, 4, they were done. I think I was mid this dog, if not possibly finished it. And then these are my 2 most recent additions. This dog stitched up super quickly, or I don't know if it felt super quick because everything's just been taking so long. This dog, I don't want to talk about this dog. I don't know if it's because I had to keep breaking off or what. We had a serious miscount on this dog, to the point where I only realised like, it's like over here somewhere. I don't even know where it is anymore. Sorry, Leo. I think it's here somewhere. And guess which direction I worked in? I worked that way. So, no, did I work that way? I can't remember. Anyway, put it this way. It's well messed up and it's one stitch off in some places, but I fudged it. I fudged it well enough, I think, so that I can just manage the back stitch when I come to it. So yeah, bottom row is all done. And then I can hold all these up together. Like I say, I think these guys were all done, these doggos. So it's just sleeves. These ones here. You have to excuse my nails, everything's gone to pot. Not done my hair, not done my nails. Well, the lady's on holiday, to be fair, it's not my fault. How dare she go away? It's ridiculous. Gemma, if you watch this, I do love you. You are allowed to go away. So, yeah, these two squares that seem to be taking forever. I'm going back to recording every 2 weeks. We are doing this. We're back on. We're game on. I'm okay. We're good. We're not going to have another 2-month break again. Shall we aim to get the dogs done? I would like to get the dogs done for a lot of reasons. Don't get me wrong. I am enjoying in the loosest sense of the term. This is for someone who I work with and who I really get on with. And I hope they're going to love it, because if they don't, I'm just going to burn it in front of them. And it's possibly going to be in a school when I do that, and I'll get into trouble. So I really would like them to like it when I give it to them. But I'm begrudging it now because it's taking so long. And it's not the cross stitcher's fault that it's taking so long. It's my fault and my life's fault and my actual dog's fault, which, it's fine. That's okay. But I just want it to be finished now. Leo wants everything to be finished now, just so I can stop talking and you can sleep properly. I need it finished because I have plans. So yeah, by the next time you see me, I want it done. I'm not going to go as far as to say fully finished object. However, we'll come to that when I talk about haul. It could be, but it probably won't be. So anyway, yeah. So the latest edition, the last one I literally just finished today, this morning, is this one. So let's give him, I don't know why that one's a boy. They look like very manly slippers. So I think, I don't know, that's why I associate a boy dog with that. I don't know which ones would be what gender. Anyway, tangents. So yeah, we're finishing this. It's getting done. I know I probably said this in Flosstube number 7. It's number 8. It's going to be done by the next time you see it. There, said it. It's happening. That's what happens, right? I say these things and they happen. This is what's happened with all of my videos. Anyway, so, oh no, bouffant. Better. Right. So, have I stitched on anything else? Yes, I have. I've had a start and a finish. However, it's a super secret start and finish, and it's not for me to show you. So, yeah, I'm not sure what we're going to do about that. I might mention it in my next Flosstube, providing the recipient is okay with that. And yeah, we'll come back to that. Anyway, so I did a super secret stitch. It was only a mini one. I think I put a bit about it on my Instagram before I went AWOL. It ended up being about 2,400 stitches, I think. And there were maybe Dexter. There were maybe 6 colours, mostly black. and I did it on a Claire Brown fabric, and the fabric was beautiful. The fabric was that great. I've actually ordered some more of it for something else that's coming up. So, if I ever do a stitch with me, this is my life. Literally, these cats don't want to be on me unless I'm doing something stitching related. So, yeah, I did it on a lovely fabric from Claire Brown, and I ordered more of that to do something else. Yeah, can't show you it. I was really proud of it as well. It stitched up really quickly. Like, I felt like it stitched up really quickly. Maybe that's because it was tiny, and it wasn't the dogs, because the dogs seem to have been taking forever. I mean, the dogs, right? It's very, very misleading. Like, I did go out and say, I think a dog a day at one point. A dog every two, I think someone on my Instagram said they managed a dog every couple of days. I think a dog every couple of days would have been manageable. I do. And then life happened. And then other things happened. And then, I went on hiatus. Accidental hiatus with a puppy as well. So, yeah. It's nice. It is nice, and it is a cute little pattern. It's just not, it's not something I'd stitch for me. And I want a selfish stitch. I really want a selfish stitch. I've got so many things. And I am going to somewhat abandon that for some of my future plans. So let me just flip over my, just so you know that I'm fully committed to dinosaurs. I don't just have dino duvet. I've got like a dino wrap here. I'll show you what I was got tangents. I've got like my dino fleecy thing here, which has been on the sofa even though it's been absolutely roasting. And then my dinosaur project book, which were reduced in Tesco because they're National Geographic and they were like £6 when I saw them. I was like, oh, I like a good notebook. I like a good planning book. But I can't justify that. Especially when it says kids project book. I disagree. I strongly disagree with that. Leo also strongly disagrees with that, apparently. Growly cat. So, yeah. But dino notebook. Dino everything. This is how committed I am to dinosaurs. So, anyway, that's Dexter in the puppy pen for when the puppy's downstairs but sort of needs just putting out of the way so that she doesn't destroy anything while we just do something quickly, like answer the door. Right, okay. Plans. So, I've got the pen again. Right, I'm just going to wave this pen around now, I don't care. So, I'm going to end up with bar on my face though because it's the nibs out. You know how I might have said, right? So if you like watched any of my videos before, I may have said that I probably won't do any more stitch alongs. I might have gone as far as to say I won't do any stitch alongs anytime soon. I might have bought a few stitch alongs or signed up to a few stitch alongs. The Halloweeny ones. I wasn't not going to. So, the first one I want to talk about is the one that like everyone's got to have seen like everywhere. And a lot of people have talked about it, which is the Witchy Stitcher Cryptids Sal. Stitch along is Sal. So, I love cryptids. I love weird stuff. I mean, if you're here for the first time, dinosaurs, fantasy, weird stuff, cryptids, sci-fi, horror, all me. This is me. The cutesy, like It's a Dog's Life, not really my bag, not really my thing. So, and gaming, obviously, Craft Hero gamer. No, not obviously, but yeah, big gamer. Not that I've played anything recently, not really living up to that, but that's a different story. That's not Flosstube. So, The Witchy Stitcher said that they were going to do, well, they didn't say this. Anyway, they announced the Cryptid sale, and they announced lots of different stuff in a deluxe box that I sort of jumped on. And I did put a post about this on Instagram. The t-shirt, I was sort of, there is a t-shirt, I have the t-shirt. I'm not wearing it at the minute, but there are plans in my head. I don't know if these plans are going to come to fruition, but there are plans in my head. I don't know, I'm trying to stare at the camera, but it's in a different place to usual, so apologies if I'm like, I don't seem like I'm making eye contact, even though that's sometimes really weird. Like, I don't want to be staring, you know what I mean. So I didn't panic buy it. It wasn't panic buying. However, I know how fast these things go from the Witchy Stitcher site. So I just bought what I thought. Well, it's quite a nice illustration. I bought what I thought. And the t-shirt was in a certain size. Now, I am probably not uniquely, I am strangely proportioned. Probably not strangely proportioned, I'm just proportioned. So I'm tall, I'm 5'11". I'm not going to do what I did, well, I'll tell you in a second. But yeah, I'm very hourglassy. And I have certain issues with fitting of certain clothing, which makes things sometimes very tight in certain areas. So I happened to sort of mentioned it may be an interesting fit on the t-shirt, and then the Witchy Stitcher actually, shaking. That's how excited I was. I was shaking the camera. Basically commented saying, "Oh, drop me a message and we can have a look and try and sort out the shirt sizing if you don't think it's right." So I dropped them a message, like, and knowing how ridiculously busy they'd be, didn't expect them to answer it, and just went, "Hey, it's me, Crafty Road Gamer. I saw your message. I'm messaging you. Bye." And then basically, the Witchy Stitch now knows my entire dress sizes, like my entire wardrobe sizes, back history of my life. And we worked out that we thought the t-shirt size that I'd ordered should be okay. And I am very pleased to say that it is, and it fits. Not that you wanted to know this, because this is about Flosstube and stitching, but it's about the deluxe box that the Witchy Stitch put together. So it's fine. This is fine. So yeah, I talk about oversharing. I'm totally overshared, but I got the right t-shirt size, so all is well. So I'm trying not to go off on tangents here. This might just be a tangent video, right? If you're here for the stitching, you've seen the stitching. The rest of it is going to be future plans, but it's going to be lots of tangents with the plans. So I apologise if you want to listen to what my plans are, but you don't want to listen to any of the other rubbish, like my life or what's happened or anything like that. I've got to tell you this. So, obviously, I've got a new puppy. You might have heard. I might have mentioned that. And so we're out on a lot of puppy runs in the garden for peeing and pooing. Not us, puppy. Obviously, we use the bathroom. So we keep odd hours in this house, like where it's quite often we're up till like midnight, 1 o'clock, especially now as it's the school holidays. And we're not working. Well, we are working, but we're not like working like we were doing. So JC was outside on a puppy. It was probably midnight, 1 a.m. puppy run outside with her ladyship, and I got a phone call from him. I'm thinking, oh my god, has he lost the puppy? What's gone on here? Something terrible's going on. There's been an accident. And so I answer the phone, like, what's up? And he's like, come outside really quietly, just sneak outside. I'm like, what is she doing that's that interesting? Anyway, turns out it wasn't the puppy that was interesting. I love the dark. Also, if you're here for the first time, also a little bit metal, little bit goth. Was much more so. Very alternative in my younger days. I can say that now because I'm old. But yeah, so I love the darkness, and like bats and all the creatures of the night. We had an owl. In the garden, in the trees up in the garden. I couldn't see the owl. at first. And he's like, just look, there's the eyes. And I'm like, I don't know where the eyes are. So it's trying to point out this owl to me. And then like, I had to get my phone out and take a picture. And anyway, I've got a picture. I'll get JC to put a photo in. I've got a photo of a brown blob. And it was massive when I saw it. Like, as in when I could pick it out, it was absolutely massive. It was a huge, huge owl. And it just, and like he was saying to me how it just sort of like, there was nothing there. And then it just sort of came and swooped in. And that just made me chuckle internally a bit, because I'm a massive horror film fan. And I don't scare very easily at all. I'm quite proud of the fact that, you know, if you're in a cinema and it's in a jumpy horror film situation and there's a massive scare and everyone jumps, I normally don't. It doesn't, like, I'm not a jumper. But I'd been doing a lot of stuff like in terms of the cryptid style, and I've been watching some horror-y stuff, and I wasn't in a great place as it was, and it just made me chuckle, because one of my favourite cryptids, possibly my favourite cryptid, is Mothman. And I think possibly if this owl had have swooped in quietly in the garden in the darkness at 1 a.m, and the way my mind was at that point in time, after like sort of cryptid style researching and things like that, I might have pooed my pants a little bit, because like just like thinking about Mothman and this silhouette of a man. I would have loved to have seen me reacting to that, because that would have been hilarious. Anyway, what I think is a funny story. I don't know if you agree or not. So yeah, I'm super excited for the Witchy Stitcher cryptid style, as you can tell, because that's all I've been banging on about for the last 5 minutes probably. I'm also super jealous of DNA Geek Crafts, because Carrie said in her most recent video that Carrie lives, what did she say, a couple of hours? No, it was more than a couple of hours. It was a decent drive away from like the home of the Mothman. And then if it's got to be when Mothman is included in the stitch along, she's going to drive there. I'm so jealous. I will like sort of like pause the video at that point, like turn to JC. I'm like, do you know what she's going to do? Like, super jealous. So if you are interested and you want to know more, I will put a link to the Witchy Stitcher website. I think the kits are all sold out now, but I'm filming today. I'm filming today on it's currently, the 31st of July just. And the frame is released tomorrow. But you've got a month to do the frame. And then cars. If you heard that, someone going way too fast. So part of getting my head sorted and getting my headspace sorted was sort of putting everything together in a diary, in a planner. Because believe it or not, I might have signed up to that many things that I forgot what I actually signed up for and when it started. So yes, the frame is released tomorrow. Well, what is tomorrow for me? And probably today, I don't know. 1st of August. And then starting from Friday the 3rd of September, every week-ish, because there's like weeks to catch up, which is great. I need those. There will be a different cryptid released up until January. So I'm super excited. Very, very excited. The other reason I'm excited a little bit is because I was thinking, this is going to end in disaster. And like I'm saying, I'm thinking about something. A few weeks ago, I thought I was up to doing a Flosstube, and I wasn't. Like, I thought I was in the right place, and I was sort of like projecting positivity for myself. And, I was sort of, I found for me, part of what helps me if I'm sort of like a bit withdrawn or not in the right place or something, is I sort of try and project out me, normal me. I'm not normal, you know what I mean though, like sort of like a less withdrawn me, like I normally am. And like, I thought, you know, it's like, if I get a poll going and like sort of see, do people want to do a Flosstube, or do they want me to do a stitch along, or stitch with me, or something like that. And I could like, that would G me on, and like, you know, like, I'm really positive about it, and that would bring the positivity in and lift me up and help me sort of get back into doing this, and well, get back into the world. Bouffon, no, don't do that. I wasn't there. I wasn't in the right headspace for that, apparently, when I put myself out there. So apologies, but I haven't forgotten the poll. So I'm going to get JC to put the results of the poll up here. Now, what happened was, I put that out there and I ended up getting a 50-50 split pretty much. Now, I say pretty much because I think Flosstube got one more vote than Stitch With Me did. However, JC coughed that he voted twice. And the reason he voted twice, I was told, was the fact that if I did a Stitch With Me, he wouldn't have anything to edit. Slightly selfish. If he would, you can put things in, you can watch the video back. But yeah, so I can't say your votes don't count, because, you know, it's voting is important. A lot of people have fought and lost their lives for the right to vote. Some people still can't vote. It's, you know, so yeah, voting is important. However, your second vote, JC, does not count. That was fraudulently voting. So that happened, and then 3 people, who was it? Stitching Natty, Darcy Cameron, and Ashley Stitching Penguin all messaged me and went, do both. It's like, I don't need that. I want one or the other. And then they messaged me that. And then when I said I closed the thing, it ended up being both anyway. So I'm not sure how you 3 rigged the internet and made that happen, but it did. So this is the Flosstube. And sorry, all the focus going there. I am going to do a Stitch With Me. However, what if I do a few? What if I do some like cryptid Stitch With Me's? Cryptid with me? Don't know. Yeah, so that's what I was thinking of doing. Maybe doing some Witchy Stitcher kind of Stitch With Me's, and then we can talk. I mean, I can talk. You can comment. You can correct me. About the cryptids that I'm stitching. I'm not necessarily saying every week. I don't know what the format of the stitch along is. Well, I know it's obviously weekly-ish, but I don't know the stitch count or what the cryptid is going to be. But I'm looking forward to sort of like researching and, you know, like knowing more about cryptids that I don't know about, that completely bypassed me. So yeah, I might do Stitch With Me with cryptids, and we might start with the frame, because I have the frame. So I got in the deluxe pack. Oh, it's 50 minutes already. I'm sorry. I've just seen the time and I've not stopped yet. I'm quite impressed. So the pack came with the fabric. That's the word that's escaping me. Which was linen, and I've never stitched on linen before. And it's 2/2. I can't remember stitching 2/2 before. So yeah, it should be interesting. And I might need some moral support or someone to talk to. JC is no good. He doesn't understand. He does understand, to be fair. He understands what 2/1 is, and he knows what Ada is. But yeah. Shall we do some cryptid stitching? Comments, please. What do you think? Or, well, no, I'm not saying should just get the dogs done. The dogs are being done. We're forgetting about the dogs. The dogs are like dogs will get done. What should we do? Stitch With Me with cryptids or something else? So that's me banging on about the Witchy Stitcher stitch along for 10 minutes at least now. So the next thing I had to talk about, speak of the man himself, skulking in. The next thing I have to talk about is the 2 other stitch alongs that I've signed up for. So I can't remember which order it was in, but the Stitchonomy stitch along was mentioned. in their Facebook group, and it was Halloween, but with like a certain feel to it, a certain vibe to it. And I was like, I need that in my life. So yeah, I might have signed up for the Stitchonomy stitch along. Might have also bought the deluxe thing for that, which had the threads and the fabric in there. I think that's supposed to be dispatching at any point soon. And if I go back to my trusty planner, I couldn't remember these. I had to like root through my emails and things. Apologies, pages. So yeah, Stitchonomy's Storybook Halloween. When are you starting? Early access is the 10th of September released, and then general release is the 17th of September. So I will put a link to the Stitchonomy site and where you can sign up for the stitch along. So the Witchy stitcher, you have to pay for the stitch along. The Stitchonomy stitch along is free. I think sign up closes early September. But have a look, see what you think. I'm doing it. Come and join me. The third stitch along that I might have signed up for is Story Stitchers Nightmare Before Christmas stitch along. Nightmare Before Christmas. How is that not going to happen? So, yeah. I had a bit of a issue with fabric for that. We'll talk about that in a minute. So, Story Stitchers Nightmare Before Christmas stitch along, I believe, is daily throughout October. And if you go to Story Stitchers blog, which I'll put a link to, you can sort of see the style that it's going to be. Oh no. Oh, I'm animal-less. Cats. Thought I heard a Dexter coming though. He's not. So, yeah, Story Stitchers. Oh, I did. One in, one out. Check this. So, Story Stitchers stitch along. Yeah, daily in October, Nightmare Before Christmas, and I think that's a free one as well. I'm sure I've only, well, had to pay for the Witch Stitcher. Didn't have to pay for the Stitchonomy like deluxe thing with all the threads and stuff, but it seemed like a good idea at the time. So the sign up for the stitch along's free. I just paid for the bits for it, and I'm pretty sure Story Stitchers is completely free. So yeah, that's like, and I've plotted them all out so you can sort of, well, so I can see what's going on with my life in the latter half of the year. So, yeah, stitch alongs. Who would have thought? Not me. And then they all came, like buses, they all came along at once. So, that's my Witch Stitcher, that's my Stitchonomy, that's my Story Stitchers. I talked about that. Right, I am going to pause there because I've got JC hovering. I can hear him. And also I need to dig some things out because we're going to talk about a haul next. And, well, that sort of was hot. That was plans plus haul, I guess. And then, yeah, life stuff. And we're already at nearly an hour. This is what happens when you have 2 months off. Apologies. I will try and ramble less and cut through more stuff after a little break. I'll see you soon. Hello. As you can see, we've lost the cats but gained the dog. So, haul, purchases, stuff that I bought. So, obviously, stuff for Sal's, stitch alongs, that I've just mentioned. When times get tough, I sort of withdraw back, which, you know, I know it's not great. You ought to talk your problems out. And yeah, I that's not me. I've like, my coping mechanism is not that. It's to withdraw accidentally for a long period of time this time. I also sort of stress buy I also stress eat. A lot of orange clubs have been eaten in this house. A lot. Which isn't great because I'm supposed to be low carb, but I'm tangenting again. So anyway, yeah, I have bought a lot of patterns. A lot. Like, I don't count them. I mean, some of them were like multiple. Like, I bought the cross-stitch alphabet from my stitcher shop, and that's one purchase. That's one thing, but it's got 26. Rocky's disgusted with me a bit about the amount of stuff I bought. He's going now. Yeah, that counts. That's like 26 in one. So that's only one, right? That's only one. If we were to count them all up separately, I bet we'd be over 50. I love everything I bought though. So I'm not going to bore you with that. One of the things I've talked to a few stitch friends about is maybe a pattern parade. I don't know how I do that. Well, I do, obviously. There must be PDFs. So yeah, maybe I'll do that. Or like in a Flosstube that's not already over an hour. I can show you some of my folders, like, and the names of things that are on my Google Drive, where everything's backed up. And like, we can talk about some of the stuff that's in there. So yeah. However, I do have some favourites. I mean, I only buy things that I love, apart from when I'm feeling a bit vulnerable. I love everything and get a bit grabby. So apparently that's what goes on. So my favourite things, my favouriteest things. Oh, I can't do that. My hair's going to go big again. Well, it's already big, but I can't do that. I can't throw it over one shoulder because that's just going to go. Pokemon lyrics. I can't remember the shop. I haven't written the shop names down on my thing, but I will have the shop names in the thing. The shop name I bought this from, I'm certain it had like for kids in it, like designs for kids. I'm not going to say it, but it definitely had for kids in it. I disagree. Pokemon are not just for kids. Pokemon are for everyone. And I've been eyeing these up for a while, and I saw on my Etsy that it said like this seller's got a sale on. I was like, oh, have they now? So yeah, I absolutely adore these starter Pokemon patterns that are made up of the lyrics. What slightly aggrieves me is that on the picture of the four of them together, the lyrics aren't in the right order, but I can live with that because when I stitch them in our house, they will be in the correct order for the lyrics. However, again, tangents. I did warn you. When I purchased this, the lyrics, the song got stuck in my head. And like, I don't know how many of you watched Pokemon. I watched Pokemon when I was a kid, I think. But I love Pokemon. I love Pokemon Go. I'm not like a massive fangirl, but I like what I like, and I do like me some Pokemon. So the theme tune got stuck in my head. So I had to like YouTube the theme tune. And the guy who sung it, like, his voice is amazing, like really, really amazing. And he can still wail, he can still rock out that theme tune. So I'm going to put a link to the Pokemon theme tune. And this guy, watch him sing it. Just watch him and like his performance, even though it's in a studio, just check it out. That led me down the rabbit hole of like other things you might want to watch in the corner on YouTube. And there's a metal version. And I was like, no, I mean, you know, well, you might not know, but yeah, I'm very much a rock metal chick. I do like, you know, lots of other genres, but like rock and metal has a very special place in my heart. So they had me at like sort of metal theme tune, metal cover. But it's got the guy in that sang the original theme tune too. And I'm torn. I don't know which one I like better. So I'm going to put a link to that as well and see what you think. And I'm not going to apologise if it's stuck in your head for days, because I think it's an amazing song. So yeah, the first ones that I love are the Pokemon made out of the lyrics to the Pokemon theme tune. The second one, well, I suppose the fifth one, I guess, but the next one I want to talk about is that Heaven and Earth Designs had a sale, and I've got a few of these little dragons already. I mean, I love dragons, but this is one that you wouldn't necessarily associate with me. I'm not a very pink person, as you can tell. I mean, the only reason I'm in this massive brown baggy top is you can't see the dog hair on it, because everything is covered in fur. Like, both cats are shedding, which is fine. That's manageable. But I don't know if you know, but corgis, they have like 2 shedding seasons, and one's January through July and one's August through December. I kid you not. It's like what the fur balls just sort of like rolling across like tumbleweeds across the kitchen floor, and like we hoover every day, and it's just like, we thought it was bad with one. It was manageable with one, it turns out. With 2, it's just like, it's chaos. It's horrible. It's not. It's lovely. I love the dogs, the fur. Anyway. So yeah, anyway, I'm not a very pink person. However, the title of this was Fragile, and I was feeling, still am a bit, pretty fragile when I bought it. And I was like looking through my wish list and looking through like this, just like browsing, danger browsing, the Haid sale, the Heaven and Earth Design sale, and I came across that one, and I have got the other dragons like that dragon in that style by that artist, and I was like, do you know what? That resonated with me. That it really, really did. So that got bought too. What else? I bought a quick stitch off the Heaven and Earth Design sale as well. And get JC to put a picture in, as he will have done for all of these that I'm talking about. I love unicorns as well as fantasy. I loved this. Absolutely loved it. I adored it. And I've got the name written down here, and I think I've written the name down wrong. So I'm going to pop it on the image. But it's a quick stitch, so it's part of a larger image. And I wasn't keen on the large image, so I'm hoping the detail will transfer into like the miniature portion that I have got in the quick stitch. If it doesn't, I'll be upset. I'm not going to lie, I do really like this. So yeah, that's what I purchased as well. And that was another one of my favoritist things. And another one, I think the final one I'll probably mention of my favoritist things is the Demogorgon. So this is from, I want to say, Unconventional X Stitch. If it's not, well, even if it is, I will put in as part of the image, I'll put who the design, well, not the designer, the who's charted it there, where I purchased it from. I love Strange Things. I'm messing with my hands now. So I'm going to just go like this. Yeah, I love Strange Things. Like, my memories are terrible. I've covered this in like Flosstube number 1, but my memory's pretty short. I don't have any like much of a long-term memory. I have a few bits and bobs here and there, but it sort of gives me a nostalgia kick. And like, some stuff pops into my head, like maybe that, yeah, anyway. So yeah, I love Stranger Things both because I love sci-fi and I love the feels that I get from it. I love the monsters. I love the Demogorgons. I'm stitching. I've got a work in progress for a little Demodog. I'm looking over here because it's in my Murloc bag of dreams, my Murloc bag of whips. So yeah, I liked this one a lot, which is why I got bought, obviously, because if I didn't like it, I wouldn't have bought it. So yeah, those are a few like of the cherry-picked favourites. I bought a lot from my Stitcher shop, which is something you will hear me say regularly. What's that in the corner? Oh, it's the corner of the hive. I was just trying to work out what that thing was there, like in the top corner. It's the central heating controls. So yeah, I bought a lot from my Stitcher shop. But yeah, we'll do some kind of like patterny thing at some point, I'm sure. But I'm not going to bore you with them all now. So the other things that I bought lots of threads and stuff. So Lakeside Needlecraft. were doing in July. They were putting a DMC Gold box with the new threads, like the 0 to 30 something threads, as a gift, one a day for 30 or 31 days of July. So I had to kit a few things up. I didn't have to kit them up, I did, because I signed up to a lot of stuff. So I split my orders up so I could get like maximum spread across July. Did I get a box? Yeah, did I heck. I don't win things. I don't enter a lot of things, to be fair, to win things, but I didn't get one. But I did get all of the stuff that I wanted, and it was super quick delivery, as usual, fantastic customer service. I just turn orders around super quickly. So Lakeside Needlecraft, thank you very much. I put several orders in. One of the orders that I put in, I'm going to reach over here because even though I said I was getting some things out, I didn't. Are you one of them? No, you're not. Oh, it would be the one on the bottom, wouldn't it? Right. So, one of the things I purchased was some fabric for the stitch along. The stitch along, like that's the only one. Nightmare Before Christmas stitch along. So apologies. Just open this up. So, I know that obviously it's a bit dodgy when you're looking at fabrics on screens. It can come out slightly differently to what it looks like. However, I ordered Smoky Oaky, and what I received for me was a gorgeous bit of fabric, but I don't know if you can tell, but it's a bit greeny weeny. It ain't so Smoky Oaky. And it's beautiful, don't get me wrong. I will use it, but I just don't know if I'm going to use it for Nightmare Before Christmas stitch along. We shall see. But yeah, it's a gorgeous piece. Just on the website, it said sort of the fabric tones were black and grey, so I thought it was quite safe. And yeah, it's a lovely piece, but it's we all know I've got issues with well, we don't. If you join me for the first time, sometimes my eyes don't see colours as they probably are, but to me that's a bit greeny weeny. It's not too smoky oaky. Definitely got a lot of green in it, which might be okay. I don't know yet, but I've ordered some more fabric just in case. But yeah, lovely bit of Ada there. Just potentially not the colour that I quite wanted. So yeah, I got threads, I got some fabric. Did I get anything else? Probably got some bobbins and a box, another box, 'cause always need more storage. And then, no, probably before or during July, I also bought some frames. So I went shopping at Dunelm and The Range and bought lots of frames in the correct, and foam board as well, in the correct sizes to sort of incentivize me to actually finish stuff. Look how that's going. But it does mean that I have everything that I need to frame the gifts that I've done so far that are actually finished, and also It's a Dog's Life when that gets finished. So yeah, that was another thing that I've done that I can tick off. Right, what else was there? Right, okay, yeah. So, final thing that I want to talk about that I have purchased is another charity pattern. So I've seen this pattern floating about for a while, and it's a gamer pattern, it's a gaming pattern, so I was obviously immediately drawn to it, but I'm also super drawn to it because it's so true, and it's a bit of a sweary gamer pattern as well. So even though I do keep this family friendly so that, if work ever drop across it, I don't get sacked for swearing on the internet. Yeah, I feel this design so much. However, I've seen it floating about and I've never really sort of researched where it came from. So then Morty messaged me going, "You seeing this? This looks very you. If you don't mind a bit of swearing." Like, please. This is non-swearing me just for this. Yeah. When it comes to gaming, we get very passionate in this household. So, Screaming Heart Design has charted this pattern, which I'm going to put up. I'm not going to put up. JC's going to put up in one corner of it. And I'm going to, like, blur out the swear bits just for the purposes of this. So, it's a charity pattern. If you, so in order to get your good little mitts on this pattern, like I did, you have to make a donation to charity listed on Screaming Heart Design's page, and they've got a Facebook page. I'll put a link to it. And it's a civil rights organisation, so it's a really good cause. There's like a minimum donation suggestion, but you can donate any amount that you want. Sorry, I can just hear JC and the cats in the kitchen. Yeah, so, you know, there's a minimum donation suggestion, but obviously, you know, donate more. If you can't afford that, then, you know, I'm sure anything that you can afford to support a good cause. Now, this is based in, this charity is based in the USA. However, I have seen on, like, sort of the post that Screaming Heart Design have sort of said, they're happy for you to make a donation to a similar charity, so a civil rights charity in your area of the world. So if you just, you know, like, message them or get in contact and just check first. But after you've made a donation, you then just send them proof of that. And then you get your hands on the pattern. It's as simple as that. So that's what I did. So thank you very much, Screaming Heart Design, and I look forward to stitching this. I'm making no promises as to when. I did check, and they said that there were no plans for it to come down anytime soon, but don't rest on your laurels, because firstly, it's for charity, so it's a good cause. And secondly, you never know. You never know what's going to happen. You snooze, you lose. So do not lose a chance to stitch this fantastic pattern. And I think that's all I'm going to talk about the haul and purchases. Oh, I want to talk, well, not purchases, but stitch kindness. So I mentioned that, like, I've had some people contact me just to say, you know, just checking in, you know, is everything okay? You know, and I've also I have, like, I now have stitchy friends, like Flosstube friends and stitchy friends that I talk to on Instagram, and, you know, we talk at a decent amount, and obviously they notice things have gone quiet, but not sort of try and bribe me back into the world. I have received a couple of lovely pieces of stitch kindness, and I don't have them next to me. However, I shall put them, well, I'll get JC to put them somewhere either side. So Morty, Mad Morty, made me a little something, and I love it. I just need a bag to put it on now. Not that that's a, you know, I'm not saying give me bags, give me more things. I need to find something appropriate to put this little thing on, because it's a lovely little zip hole. And then Jo, who is Stitch Cat Lady 26, who's not a Flosstuber, who has become a very good friend though, who I talk to pretty much every day, has sent me some bits and bobs from Chester, because it is my favourite place, well, one of my favourite places. And also Jo did science, so Jo did some, I know I'm twizzling this now, I'm sorry. Jo did some thread dyeing, and yeah, I got a piece of Jo science. She sent me some. So yes, thank you very much for my stitch kindness, massively appreciated. Yeah, love it. Thank you very much. So life. I've wrote a list of other life bits, but I suppose I didn't better address it. I want to address the absence. So I left the last Flosstube saying we were going to pick up a little puppo, and we have. Now she's asleep upstairs, but I will ask JC to put something in at the end after this because she's not going to wake up now. I'm recording this. We flicked over to the 1st of August now. Happy August. Which stitch cell. Yeah, so it's now midnight and she won't wake up. We'll just prod her awake when we go to bed. To nip outside just to use the toilet. Her, not us. Hopefully, if there's any owls about, it's going to be him, not me. Anyway, so yeah, she happened and she's chaos, but she's so good. She's picking things up so quickly. Nova is amazing. I love her to bits. And Rocky loves her to bits, and the cats tolerate her. And she's just such a pleasant little dog. And the thing with fibro and chronic fatigue syndrome is any changes to your life usually rock your boat slightly. And I'm not going to lie, it did. Like early get-ups and like middle of the night loo runs when she wakes up whining and things like that. And JC has been taking a lot of this on, so thank you, JC. But yeah, it is sort of like did rock my world slightly in a not great way. But if that was it, then that would have been fine. But then work's been horrendous as well. So I've mentioned before, I don't know how much I've mentioned before, but I work in education, I work in schools. And we work in peaks and troughs. That's how we describe our job. However, there's been no troughs. There's just been peaks, and then bigger peaks, and then like more mountainous areas. And yeah, it's just work's been relentless and ramping up and not stopping. So like that then compounded puppy. Like realistically, probably shouldn't have got a puppy at the busiest time of, well, one of the busiest times of year, but all the time's been busy at the moment. So it was never going to be the right time. So yeah, puppy plus work. And then my dad passed away in July a few years ago, I think. So he died on his birthday in July. And he passed away, it was dementia related. But the circumstances around it were pretty not great. So that sort of kicked me as well. And then lots of other things too, like, yeah, just lots and lots of other things. Those are the main things. Like sort of like realising my memory's probably gone a bit more, and my health is sort of not being great. Yeah, so anyway, I guess it's like a ripple. Like, you know, when you like drop a stone and it ripples out. And like sort of like if you drop it and it just like does a little ripple, you can sort of like swim your way back to yourself if you're there in the middle, and you can like sort of get your way back really easily. But it's just sort of like a lot of things came at once and compounded in a not great way. And my natural mechanism, the way I deal with things, is I draw back. I you know, I know you're supposed to talk it out and all that stuff. That's not me. I don't do that. I sort of pull back and try and deal with things myself. And you know, JC's great. He's amazing. But yeah, I have to try and deal with and manage myself. And I guess that's noticeable because I've been doing Flosstubes that I've sort of like drawn back a lot and not been present. I think, you know, people possibly expected it because of the puppy. But yeah, it's been a little while. So I do apologise for that. And I know, like I say, a few people have sort of reached out and just sort of checked in. I've been, you know, I have a few, you know, friends to talk to and some stitchy friends as well, who I'm very, very grateful for. But yeah, and I just don't want anyone to think I've been ignorant. If I haven't replied promptly, or if you've tagged me in something and I haven't responded, or if you've just, like, if you're a new subscriber, and I know some people have commented, I'm getting there. It's just hard. So yeah, sorry. And I'm here, and I'm not like still fragile, but I'm getting there. So I will be hopefully back in business very shortly, as usual. Anyway, other things. I think as well with the Flosstube and like, well, I'm not obviously not other things now. Just keep talking about the same thing. I think with the Flosstube and like, I don't know, even commenting on stuff, like I've caught up with everyone's Flosstube, but I've not commented on any videos. And I think with like sort of the way I operate and like my tendencies and like my anxiousness about things, it takes me longer to swim back to the centre. If the more ripples they are, the more bad things that happen, or the more things that compound. And I think just my head makes things out to be a bigger thing than what it is sometimes. And I think that's probably what I've done with this. Like, I wanted it to be perfect, I wanted it to be right, and then I've ended up with a list of things in the complete wrong order, looking like a mess. So it doesn't have to be perfect, it just has to be me, and I know this. So yeah, thank you for sticking with me. Firstly, if you've got this far through this film length video, looking at the time, JC's gonna have fun editing this one, but yeah, just thank you. Yeah, I'm here. Garden. We've been doing the garden. I say we, royal we. I'm like banned from doing the garden, for two reasons. Firstly, because like I'm useless. Like my hands, like fibro, terrible. Also, like I can't really feel these two fingers very much in this hand. It's not like my ulnar nerve. I had like nerve conduction tests. It's just part of the fibro. It's just messed my hand up like on the side. So also with like the fibro and the chronic fatigue, the ME, if I do something and exert myself too much, especially when I'm already in sort of a bit of a place, things tend to have a negative effect and cause flare-ups and things. So yeah, the royal we, JC, has been doing the garden. I've been proactively managing him, shall we say. And we've made progress. I don't know if I'm going to put a photo up of the progress, but because it still looks horrendous, let's face it, JC, it does, doesn't it? But we can do better, can't we? No, he's working like a trooper on it. So yeah, that's nice to see progress. Office number 2, all work has stopped. Strangely enough, all work has stopped to the point where JC got his racing rig operational and started playing on it. Coincidence? But no, so we've still got a bit of work to do on that. What else have I got written down? Pets. Oh yeah, so another one of the things that sort of rocked my world is Leo, we think he's got dementia. So we've been having a lot of, without going into too much detail, accidents in the house, which is very unlike him. But he's just not been himself as well. So he's had his vet's checkup and things like that, and they can't really, there's nothing wrong with him apart from he's old. But he's doing he's not himself. He's not, he didn't recognise JC the other day, and we've been together years now. And he's going and sitting in odd places and sitting in corners and staring at things and just really not recognising where he is. So yeah, I know people might think it's only a cat. He's not. So yeah, that's been fun. Right. So, anything else? Any other big news? Oh, Rocky. Rocky's feeling sorry for himself, I said at the beginning of the video. So Rocky has had an implant. So we didn't go the full chop with him. So Rocky's 2 years old. If you don't know about corgis, obviously I've mentioned about the 2 shedding seasons, which are 6 months each. But yeah, so with corgis and other small breeds, vets seem to have this thing about early castration and early neutering or spaying or whatever. Excuse me, I'm just going to get a drink. But especially with corgis, with them being sort of small but long, you need to allow time for the growth plates to close properly. And that's normally around 18 months-ish. Now, Rocky is 2 years old. And with the pandemic and just, he's a really pleasant dog. We're very responsible. He's never off lead, unless we're in a secure park, or on a play date, and like the organisers know, and we keep very good control of him. So yeah, there's been no, I don't want to say no need to, because it's got its own issues, not neutering, like obviously not just sort of unwanted litters, but also to do with like cancers and health issues, and neutered dogs live longer. So anyway, we just haven't like sort of looked into it and got around to it. But then obviously we got Nova. Rocky's a boy, Nova's a girl. And yeah, Nova is not a girlfriend or a wifey or whatever for Rocky. She's a companion. So the issue is, because we were waiting for Rocky's growth plates to sort of finish, Rocky finished growing and his growth plates to close properly. Then we got Nova. We need to do the same with her. So rather than rush into, giving him any major operations, even though it's not a massive major operation, but doing anything to mess with him and his genitalia, we decided to give the implant a try. And he got that on Friday, and I'm recording, well, this is like the early hours of Sunday now, but it's Saturday really. So yeah, he's had a little implant in his shoulder that stops the testosterone and will give the effect of 6 months worth of basically contraception. He wasn't happy about that. He loves the vets. He loves them so much. They make so much of a fuss over him. And he's a bit, in Barnsley terms, in Yorkshire terms, he's a bit sloughened. He's not quite right. He's not quite himself, and he's feeling a bit down in the dumps because his shoulder's sore. And I don't know, I think it's probably a bit too early for the effects of like chemicals to be kicking in, like hormones to be kicking in on him. But yeah, he's not a happy bunny. So yeah, he's a bit sulky, wandering around. But we're not going to have any unwanted litters, and it means that we can try him out, make sure that there's no changes to his personality that are a bit unwanted or undesired, and then we can make a decision, which, it will be to sort of like have him neutered. Spade's girls news. Anyway, we will probably, but yeah, we just want to give it a try out first, and then we'll give Nova the opportunity to grow and get her growth plates closed about 18 months, 2 years, and then she'll we shall be responsible dog owners there too. Anything else? Got anything happy, anything good to end on? I feel like sort of like I've watched loads of things. I can't remember much about what I've watched, if I'm honest with you. One thing that stuck out was called The Serpent. And I'm twizzling again. I'm sorry. I'm faffing. I faff when I'm nervous. But when I don't know. I just need something to do with my hands. Yeah, The Serpent. Horror-y, blah blah, all that kind of stuff. Serial killers, also my bag, and crime, true crime, that kind of thing. So have a look and give it a watch, because it is about a serial killer, but it's different to anything else that I've seen. It's a true story, or based on a true story, as much as it can be when it's a Netflix conversion. But I really got into it. I don't want to say like I enjoyed something about serial killers, because that sounds like quite weird, but it's me, you know what I mean. I was really into it. I found it really interesting. So that might be worth a watch. And yeah, I can't remember. I don't know. I can't remember what we've watched, if I'm honest with you. If JC remembers, I'll get him to put like a listing of other things. But yeah, it's just been a bit of a blur. Yeah. But anyway, things to look forward to. Lots of stitchy stuff. Well, only to look forward to if you're bothered about watching me again. So yeah, lots of stitchy things. puppy. We'll put something on about the puppy after I've finished saying goodbye, because it'll end up being tomorrow. Well, after we've slept, and when she's awake and all bouncy and bitey, because she's teething now. So yeah, lots of stitching to look forward to. Dogs are going to get finished, and then we're going to selfish stitch. Well, I'm going to selfish stitch. Hopefully you're going to watch me. So we're cutting it there, because that is a long time. That's longer than usual, but I have been away for a while. Hey ho, the next one won't be as long. She says this. It won't be. So thank you very much if you've stuck with me this long. Thank you very much if you're watching for the first time. If you've come back, even after I've been away for such a long time, I massively appreciate it. I really do. Drop me a comment, say hi, drop me an IG message if you want, or always happy. And I always comment back on comments. It might just take me a while. My job for tomorrow is to go back on Instagram and on YouTube Studio and work out who I haven't said hi or thank you to, or talked back to, spoken back to in comments, because that's part of this that I really do enjoy doing. So I hope you've all been well in my absence, and take care of yourselves until I speak to you next time. I'll be much more present, much more about, and much more myself. I promise. So take care of yourselves, like I say, and I will see you in 2 weeks, definitely for another Flosstube, but maybe, well, I owe you. I owe a stitch with me. So I think we're going to do Cryptid stitch with me, and I will sort one of those out, because we need to do the frame, and I need support. I need to talk it out while we're doing the frame. So TTFM, Civvy, and I'll catch you next time. So this is Nova, who we are just going to feed some teething gel to shortly, because that's the only way I can get her to sit still. So I think she's 15 weeks now. So coming up to 4 months old, and yeah, we are well into teething at the moment. She's amazing. She's really good. You a good girl? She's got a strong sit when she wants something. Rocky does too. She's learnt how to beg using her eyes, not jumping up. So what other tricks can you do? I don't know, just an expert at looking cute and chomping and hanging off of Rocky's face, aren't you? So I will be keeping up more with her and Rocky's Instagram. But at the moment, right now, I think we're going to actually put some teething gel on, rather than just taunting her with it to try and get her to sit still, because it's not working. And we're going to put her to bed for a snooze. So, Nova? Good girl. So yeah, there we go.